Welcome once again to SCLC Today. From the Southern Christian Leadership Conference International offices in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia's historic Civil Rights District on Auburn Avenue, we are pleased to introduce SCLC President and CEO, Dr. Charles Steele, Jr.
Hello, and welcome to our national office, actually the international office of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC, here on Auburn Avenue. I'm so happy to take just a few minutes to let you know that we are still here fighting in the Streets to the Suites campaign and dealing with the Poor People campaign in terms of the vision of Dr. King in SCLC for many of years. I've just gotten in from Cleveland, Ohio, my second trip, dealing with Sherwin-Williams, who is building a 36-story high-rise, skyrise in terms of the atmosphere of economic development in Cleveland, Ohio. Sherwin-Williams has been in business for over 155 years in Cleveland, and their world headquarters is in that same city. But in terms of economic development, African Americans are not at the table. People of color, black, brown, are not anywhere in terms of the thinking and the mindset of being in a partnership of economic development with this particular project, which is $1 billion project that they would not include people of color. So I'm perturbed, disturbed, and the people in Cleveland, people of color, and fair-minded thinking all people of ethnicity are really embarrassed of the fact that this city that will host the NBA All-Star Game in a few weeks, this city that also is the home of none other than LeBron James, which is from Akron, but also Cleveland, Ohio, and they will carry on this type of mentality. We're not going to stop. We're not going to hesitate or pause in terms of bringing about justice and equality in this city. Cleveland is the new Selma in terms of economic development. Let me say that again. Cleveland, Ohio is the new Selma, Alabama, when we're fighting for voter rights and still fighting for voter rights because of the suppression of voter rights that's taking place. And we'll deal with that later in terms of not this program, but future programs in the next few weeks. We're talking about Cleveland, Ohio being the international project of economic justice for all God's children. You're talking about a population of 51% African American in Cleveland, Ohio. And in the near future, in the next few weeks, in the early part of November, November the 2nd, they're going to have a municipality election in terms of a runoff that's going to take place. One is a Caucasian individual and the other one is African American. But what we are saying is that at 51% being African American, we have no decision-making managerial people in position in Cleveland, Ohio, in terms of the economics. We want the prime contract to be shared. American history tells you that America does not share in the profit. There's no profit sharing in America. We know that from slavery, but many people don't want to talk about it. You got to know your history. And we're saying that we must eradicate racism from today's society. In closing, this past April, CDC itself, Citizen Disease Control, here in Atlanta, Georgia, the CDC came out with a study to prove that if you don't have a healing of America in terms of the transatlantic African slave trade, it is transferable. It will be in the DNA, which will pass on from generation after generation, transmitted to the next generation, conveyed to the next generation. Nothing has changed if you don't have a healing of America. Dr. King told his mother just prior to his assassination that he was going to do his next speech on America. And I let you research what the title was going to be. I would not use it in this segment. But America will pay a price for what it's doing in terms of the historicity and continuation of the slavery mentality that America has placed upon us as a society and ultimately the world. In closing, evil will present itself continuously if people who know the facts would not convey them to the public. You get the facts and you educate. Dr. King said, evil with silence is evil itself. When you face evil, the evilness of society, and you remain silent, you are just as evil. That's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The 3 ills in society that Dr. King said in his speeches for many a speech. He said, racism, poverty, and militaristics are the 3 ills in society. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you later.
The movement continues, but not without your support. Your membership with the Southern Christian Leadership Conference will help promote the initiatives, programs, and activism of the SCLC. Visit our website to see what we've been doing and join online at nationalsclc.org. Thank you for joining us for today's program.